crazy video, but this is an unedited tour of $1 million firearm collection. That just sounds insane, but yeah, we're gonna get into the video.
Show you what it's like coming to my house when you're coming out to hang out and we want to do some shooting and you wanted to check out the collection. And we're going to give you an uncut video of everything, basically how it would go down. Like there was no camera, like Chad's not here, there's no camera, how I'd be talking to you and how the things would go if you came out to hang out with me for a day. And this is what we're going to do today. There's going to be no music in the video, no editing, you're just going to get pure raw. And that's how it's going to go today. So let's check out the first room. You guys know I'm a John Wick fan, so I had to buy a pinball machine. So that's pretty sick. So to give you a little background.
Bro, what? Y'all see how many guns are in there, bro? Oh my God.
About this room a little bit. Back when we bought this house, this room, like I said, back when we bought this house, this room was here and it had cabinets on the walls. There was a safe that was left here and we used it for ammo. We still use it for ammo. And it was gotten to the point where I was buying so many guns that I was laying them on the floor in the other rooms and it was like getting insane. And so the boss says, you know, maybe we should turn this into a gun room. So before I had any chance for her to change her mind, I started doing demo. Now, demo is not like you see on HGTV. I went out and bought some new DeWalt's. I was out here just beating the shit out of it, getting, you know, calling in dumpsters to move the stuff out. And it was not easy. When you see it on TV and they did it done in a day is all BS. It took me a good week and a half. And then
There's ever a zombie apocalypse in the world, I'm going to this man's house. I'm going to find him, and I'm going to go to his house and fight them zombies.
Tear apart things, you find things. There was a low spot over there in the concrete, had to fix that. I mean, just stupid crap. So then we got into how am I going to display it? Because we had slat wall in the other rooms, and I was like, we got to find something cooler for this room. I want to make it more, I don't know, prettier, I guess, so to speak, because this is where all my favorite guns are going to be. And that's why we went with the Galotech. Now, the Galotech was definitely the way to go because of the amount of weight that we were going to put on here. And then I started getting crazy on, then you get to a point when you start displaying guns, how do you want to display it? Do you want to display it by long range? Do you want to display it by calibers? Do you want to go by makes, models? And that gets you down to a rabbit hole where it kind of stresses you out a little bit because you want it to look, you know, uniformed and not stupid to scattered brains while you'd put a long gun next to a pistol. It just doesn't look right. So then I started, you know, writing it down how I should do it. And then I did basically an inventory of the guns of what. So I sent it to them and they knew I'd be shooting a lot and I didn't have a gun to shoot because I wanted to shoot serial number 1. They sent me this one on top. And then they offered for me to, I asked them if I could buy it and they said yes, because it'd be cool, I think, in videos for you guys or just for me to have, you know, dueling Shy-Techs, I guess. That's probably the reason I bought it. And I couldn't beat it for the price. And I bought a suppressor for it as well. But the guns are ridiculous and it's one of my most favorite guns to shoot. Now, then I got into, okay, what's the next guns I want to bring over? So then I got into like the, you know, the AR-10s, that I went down that rabbit hole. And then you get into the Scars, you get into the SIG 6.8, which is one of my favorite guns to shoot. Then you get into the GA Precisions, the 6.5 Creedmoors, stuff like that. I try to keep things the same. I mean, this is a 7.62 by 39, but it's all uniform with that, if that makes sense. Then you get into some of the other goodies. This, I'll show you one that Chad particularly hates me to shoot, is this one. It's a 300 Win Mag. I think the barrel is 8-inch or 10-inch. I think it's 8-inch. It's actually pleasant to shoot. It's actually fantastic to shoot. I usually throw a suppressor on it so it doesn't kill Chad, but it's horrible if you're standing next to it. It's ridiculous. It shoots a flame like you wouldn't believe, but it's still fun. Now, you get into, there's another Nemo, that's a Nemo, that's a Nemo. That's the real 300 Win Mag. That's one of my favorite guns to shoot. We've shot that quite a bit and we've done videos on it. Then I started probably about a year ago or 2 years ago getting into the B&Ts, and I really dig them a lot. Some of them I've hardly ever shot. Some other ones I've shot quite a bit. The 308 right above it on the very, very top. And the Dragunov's cool. I just got that, I think like 6 months ago. Have not shot it yet because I want to do the research about sighting in that scope. That's one thing I don't know how to do. Don't know, it's not like what I'm used to. So I'll do the homework on that so we go out there and play with it. I also want to suppress it. But you get some other goodies that they have, like their little sub guns, 9mm, that they're supposedly Secret Service guys use. And you get into the vet gun, if you want to call it a vet gun, 9mm. You got Noveski in here with it. Then you've got crazy stuff that I have optics on. I don't have the front optic off, but this is a corner shot. Basically, it's made by Aimpoint, which is pretty ridiculous. I've had some cops out here really interested in getting those, so they have hostage situations or whatever, they want to get a couple of those. I got to talk to Aimpoint about it. But then you get into, go down the rabbit hole of the John Wick stuff. So there's the shotgun from the last one. I think this was in the first one and the second one, the 2 9mm. The shotgun from the last one.
Bro, he actually got the shotgun from John Wick. What? Nah, that's not crazy, bro. That's insane. He has the real shotgun and assault rifle from John Wick.
I think this was in the first one and the second one, the 2 9mm. This is the 5.56. All these are extremely accurate, extremely blast to shoot. This is actually a new gun. I just, Scar 5.56. Just built it actually. It's an SBR. Have not messed with it yet. Haven't even shot it yet. So we're gonna have to mess with that and try it out. Then you get into the Combat Masters. I talked to Taryn, and I usually try to get ones that come out before the movie comes out. Sometimes I can get them, sometimes I can't. I have all of them through all the movies, which is very cool. Nice action. One of my favorite ones, and Chad actually did a video on this one, the Mini Wick. And Chad found this out. I didn't know about it, and he told me that they were supposed to make they made 4 of them, and it was supposed to be like the backup gun in the movie, but the director couldn't see it on his ankle or whatever, so they decided not to use it. I know that Taryn only made 4. This came out of Taryn's personal collection. He only made like 4 of them. I think that was the case. I don't remember. But then I went down the rabbit hole of the Staccatos, which are fantastic, and the STIs, which is basically the same company. I do support a lot of the local PD. I know a lot of the guys on the PD. So this one's one of my favorite ones. I actually kind of bought it by accident. It wasn't planned, but it just happened. It was on auction, and I bought it, and all the proceeds goes to the officers on the thin blue line. It's all hand done. It's really pretty. But yeah, that was not a mistake, but a mistake at the same time. A little pricey. It's accurate. I mean, I liked STIs. I liked them before I liked Staccato. I know it's the same company and everything else, but to the 80 I have, this one is a 460 Roland. This one's the Wilson Combat, and I knew that they made another one in 10mm, so I bought the sister gun next to it that I wanted. They didn't make very many of those, I was told, but the 460 Roland's pretty insane. Most of the safes have ammo or paperwork for, you know, all my class 3 stuff. I'll keep the paperwork in the safes, but most of it's purely ammo. I like gun safes, but if I want to go shooting, I don't want to have to drag a bunch of guns out just to get to one gun. If I had 5 guns, it makes total sense. But when you have this many, it doesn't make sense to me. Then the ones on top are pretty cool. They're with the correct suppressor with it. Then you got the stupid handguns that, you've got 500 mags, you've got 50s, you got I would call it kind of a sub-nose 500, which is ridiculous. 44 mag. 45-70 revolver, which is actually not that difficult to shoot. It's actually pretty fun to shoot, to be honest with you. You would think it would blow your hand off, break your wrist, but it doesn't. You got some of the AKs. I like AKs, don't get me wrong. I'm not very knowledgeable about them. I don't know all the differences. I know I have You get the GQ Army, which is some of my favorite manufacturers. They build very lightweight guns and they shoot very well. This one is basically my first gun that has a fun trigger in it. Waited for a while for the paperwork, but it's a Mac 10 45. A blast to shoot, very quiet with that suppressor, very, very quick. And I actually have their uppers to shoot different calibers, 5.56 and 9. Then you get into like, basically these are all semi-auto. Everything you see here, all the belt feds are semi-auto. It's kind of lame, I know, but my thought process at the time was, it's just gonna just chew up ammo. Like, you know, what's the point of spending 50 grand on a gun? It's just gonna sit on your wall when you just shoot it for 10 seconds. You know, these you'll shoot more often because A, it's cheaper, and B, it's semi-auto. It's still fun shooting full auto, don't get me wrong, I love doing it. But that's the reason behind that, the full auto issue. You got your, you know, H-car, sorry, your H-car is there. Then you get into the 249, the saw, and then you get into the Fight Light, which has a special trigger in it as well. It's got a force reset trigger in that. It's very fast, very fun to shoot. We put that on the new side-by-side that I got, and it's just a kick in the ass. Then you got the 240, also semi-auto. It's accurate in semi-auto. I'd love to shoot one in full auto. I need somebody to make me a trigger for it so we can have a little bit more fun with it. Then you got into the, you know, you get into the heavy calibers. I had to put those at the end just because they take a lot more room. This is ridiculous. You guys seen Johnny shoot this in the past. I only shoot it off a tripod just because of the metal coat hanger on the back. Single shot 50 cal is kind of stupid, especially this one. But I bought it because it was kind of stupid, just because why? This one, I don't remember who the manufacturer is. I never even shot it. It weighs ungodly. I'm going to say 50, 60 pounds. I need to shoot it just to experience it once and then put it away. Then you got.
That's a long barrel, bro. Did you shoot that, bro? You didn't know that shit's pushing back.
I need to shoot it just to experience it once and then put it away.
That's crazy.
It doesn't matter if it's new or used brass, so I got to, but it has a suppressor on it, so it makes it much nicer. I like the Barretts just because of the way the recoil is. These are.
That's a real like desert sniping gun, bro. That's that suppressor where you can hold, but that's crazy.
Nice to shoot, but they're brutal on your shoulder after a while. These even, you could keep shooting like a shotgun and it's not as bad. The FN, I really want to get this out to the ranch. I mean, it's got a side mag, it's bolt action. That one I've shot once, and it's actually wasn't as bad as the Cadex. The Cadex is brutal, but I still have a blast shooting the hell out of it. I do have some 37 millimeters. I have another one over there, and we usually use these, so when we go out to the ranch, there's always a bunch of cattle. And sometimes they get near the targets where we're gonna shoot, so I'll shoot flashbangs at them. They look at me like I'm stupid. And it's kind of fun. I've shot one accidentally right in the butt, and he just looked at me like, what? And it blew up right underneath his butt. He didn't even care. So kind of felt bad on that one. But usually we move them out of the way so I don't actually kill one. But this is where I went down the rabbit hole of suppressors. Excuse me. And Galotech had the suppressor holders. So there's a variety of calibers here, 9. I mean, a variety. One of the world's smallest, only 22, I think. I mean, there's, but when got into, I was the one that was used in battle, and then you got to buy it because when you go, for example, this one was 14,000 to 25,000. I threw 14 at it, not thinking I would get it. I walked away from it, and
play War Thunder now.
That is a lot of guns. I ain't gonna hold you. That's one of the people you do not want to smoke with, bro. Yeah, bro, that's $1 million firearm collection. Let me know what y'all think is the best gun out of that whole collection, bro. I like the assault rifles for sure.